So this one is Catherine Seigel Designs. She's a luxury floral and wedding florist based in Ontario, and her work is genuinely stunning. Think editorial tablescapes, garden pulled arrangements, the kind of stuff that ends up in wedding magazines. The problem? Her website didn't look anything like that. This was a full web design and brand project. We came in to build something that actually matched the level of her work. Because when you're a florist charging luxury prices, your website can't look like everyone else's. And this is what we landed on for the hero. No pitch, no features list, just her work, front and center, with that one line. Where flowers tell your story. It sets the tone immediately. You land on this page and you just feel it. The brief was pretty clear when we dug into it. Catherine is one of Ontario's most considered floral designers. Romantic, editorial, slow. But the old site read like a directory listing. Flat photos, generic copy, no voice. If a couple was planning a $40,000 floral budget, there was nothing on that site to tell them this was the studio for them. There were a few specific problems. No editorial voice, just generic copy. Photography crowded together with no room to breathe. And the mobile experience was completely off for a luxury brand. Most brides are browsing on their phones, so that one really mattered. You can see it here side by side. The before was clean enough, but it felt like a template. The after is intentional. Editorial typography, a long scroll narrative, designed phone up. It's a completely different experience. Before any pixel hit a screen, we built a mood board. And this is something we do on every brand project because the mood board doesn't just inform the visuals, it becomes the filter for every decision after it. For Catherine, the words were romantic, soft, editorial, organic, timeless, slow. We pulled from her own work, her references, soft light, paper texture, garden florals, hand-tied stems. Every page on the final site traces back to this feeling. When you look at it, you should feel like you're flipping through a beautifully printed book. Those words aren't just descriptors. They're guardrails. If something doesn't fit that list, it doesn't make the cut. For typography, we went with a serif that has real personality. Display size at 96 with tight tracking. The italic weight does a lot of the heavy lifting on the headings because it carries that softness without needing anything else. The type specimen here says it best. A floral life, slowly tended. That's the energy the font had to hold. 5 colors. All pulled from things you'd actually find in her work. Cream, dusty rose, sage, warm beige, and charcoal. Not a single one feels chosen randomly. Each has a word attached to it. Soft, romantic, natural, elegant, grounded. That palette does a lot of emotional work without you even noticing it. The build was really about restraint. We treated the website as an editorial artifact, not a brochure. Generous white space, photography first, long scroll narrative. Every page was designed to read like a magazine spread that respects the work. And beyond the homepage, there was a lot of detail in the build. A curated portfolio grid where every piece has room. An about page written in Catherine's own voice. An inquiry flow that actually qualifies couples instead of just dumping them into a wall of fields. A workshops module for her community programming. An SEO tuned for Ontario luxury wedding florist searches so the right people are finding her in the first place. Now the copy. This is one of my favorite parts of this project. We rewrote every line on the site to sound like Catherine herself. Quiet, considered, never overpromising. Look at these before and afters. Flowers for events becomes where flowers tell your story. Submit a contact form for pricing becomes begin an inquiry, we'll write back personally. That shift is everything. Same information, completely different relationship with the reader. The homepage unfolds as a quiet, deliberate story. 5 sections, each one handing the visitor off to the next without pressure. We call them chapters because that's really what they are. Chapter 1 is the hero. It's not a banner. It's not a headline with a button underneath it. It's an invitation. The work opens the page and the tagline pulls you in. Chapter 2 is the story. This is Catherine in her own voice. Flowers have been my language for over 20 years. That kind of line only works if you've actually taken the time to understand who you're building for. Chapter 3 is the portfolio, and the word there is curated, not a gallery dump. Every piece chosen for how it represents what she does. Given space, given context. Chapter 4 is services, weddings, events, installations. Described simply with intention. Designed for a few celebrations each year. That line alone communicates the exclusivity without saying the word exclusive. And Chapter 5 is the inquiry. A quiet, considered close. The copy here doesn't push. It invites. And because the whole page has been building trust up to this point, by the time someone gets here, they already know whether this is the studio for them. And then there are the small things. Page rhythm, spacing, the way a service card holds an image, the way an inquiry form feels like a considered experience. None of this is accidental. A magazine spread is made in the details. This project is a good example of what we do at Vortio. It's not just a website, it's a brand experience built around how someone actually works and who they're actually for. If your site doesn't feel like you, that's where we start.